What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for today's video. Today I have the first video of my annual gardening series. I try to do at least a few gardening related videos on my channel every year. So here's the first of hopefully a handful for this summer. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how I am planting in pots this year. I am starting really early so that I can have a full summer of just thriving, happy, healthy plants and I don't get a late start to it. So I am definitely starting earlier this year than I did last year, and so I hope that you guys will enjoy this early head start. I am also going to be sharing with you quite a few tips, specifically when it comes to annuals and flowers. I do have a full length video when it comes to planting perennials and starting a garden bed, but like I said, this one is more focused on annuals and flowers and in pot planting. So I hope that you guys will enjoy it. So let's jump right into the video and get started. The first tip is to keep all of the tags. It just is like a guide for what worked, what didn't. If you notice a few days or a week after planting in pots that one of the plants or the flowers are not doing so well, you can always pull out the tag, see if you maybe misread how much water it needs or what kind of sun, the amount of sun that it needs. So having all of the tags and the information on all of the plants that you buy is definitely key for me, and definitely one of the most important tips that I can share with you guys. Tip number 2 is to space out your plants. I could have definitely fit a few more of these marigolds in here, probably at least 1 or 2 more, and just made it really full looking. But what I've found from planting in the past is that if you give the plants or the flowers room to grow, they will fill out the perimeter or the rim of the pot. So I definitely don't want to start out with an overly filled pot, just because it gives the flowers less room for more continued growth throughout the year, and then also it kind of just wastes flowers when you don't need to, when you could plant them somewhere else. So here's another example. I had 2 more of these zinnias, and instead of using all 6 pods for this one pot, I was able to space them out and then get some additional use for the 2 little rain boots here. Here are some of my leftovers that I didn't end up using all of in one planter. So I have a total of 2 more pods of these, and then same with this one. So these are just extras that I will be able to fill up another pot or planter with. Next up, at the end of the season, when summer is over and all of your beautiful flowers have died off, don't empty the soil that you already have. You'll just end up wasting so much money having to refill so many pots of this size. So I usually just pull out the dead plants and then leave about a third of the pot filled with the original soil. So this soil I have been using throughout probably several years now, and it still does what it needs to do. I also like to really pack down, smush down the flowers once they're planted, just so that they stay in place and so the roots don't end up coming out and getting exposed. This is more of an obvious pointer or tip, but I do want to mention it. Definitely make sure to pay attention to the care tips that these have. They're there for a reason, and they're there to help your plants grow and thrive. And then there you can see my Miracle Grow flower food. I always use this. This is a bloom booster. This will help fill your pots with tons of blooms, and it will just feed your plants and your flowers and give them all of the nutrients that they need to really thrive throughout the summer. There's a bunch of different Miracle Grow formulas that you can use, and I've used quite a few of them and I've always had good luck. So make sure to invest in some of the planting food just to really give your flowers that boost. And then another tip is to pull off any dead foliage or flowers that you see. The reason why this tip is important is that it just prevents any nutrients or water from trying to revive those dead blooms or leaves. Number one, it'll just make the flowers and plants look a lot nicer without having a bunch of dead leaves or dead flowers like this one has. And then besides that, it'll just keep your plants and flowers a lot healthier. So that is why I am just removing all of the dead parts as I go, as I plant. And that's something that I do and I try to look for like every 3 or 4 days, definitely every week. I just go around really quickly and remove any dead parts. And same with these yellowing leaves. I could just remove those right away just so that any nutrients don't end up going there and they end up going to the healthier parts of the flowers. The first thing that I'm going to pot is this really beautiful climbing flower. I think I took off the tag already, but I have had these flowers before in the past, and as you can see, they love to climb. It would do great with like a lattice or a trellis of some sort. Here is how I have this situated. Right now I just have the plastic pot that this came in inside of a worn and weathered terracotta pot that my mother-in-law got me. I believe she got this for me at Home Depot several years ago, and we just have never brought it inside. And I'm actually really loving the new look that this has just from being outside in the elements. It looks super, super weathered and vintage and chippy, and I love it now more than I did before. So I'm going to take the current plastic pot out and fill the edges with soil. This will just allow for the plant to thrive more and grow, since it will be able to spread its roots a little bit more than what that plastic pot is allowing. I had to cut open this plastic container. It was like stuck. It was just so tight around the roots of this plant. Here you can see before the pot got nice and weathered, it used to be like a burgundy red. So this is definitely a look that I prefer. I did look this up since I do not have the tag on hand, and this is called the pink mandevilla vine flower. Like I said, I have a bit of experience with these flowers. I have gotten smaller versions the last couple of years, and this bigger version is absolutely stunning, I think. I wish so badly that this was a perennial and it would come back each year, but unfortunately it's just an annual, just like all of the other plants and flowers that I'm working with in today's video. But I am obsessed with the buds of these. They look super tropical, and I just love how they kind of climb up. I think that's such a cool characteristic of this one. So I have these 4 galvanized little hanging baskets, but for these planters I am going to be planting petunias. So I'm going to be doing these larger petunias in 2 of the 4 buckets, and then I'm going to be doing this variation in the remaining 2 buckets. So I have put the flowers in the pot set I am planning on planting them in. Next up, I'm going to begin working on this metal longer planter. For this one, I think I'm going to plant this smaller hibiscus. So I'm going to use this in the center since this is a rather large planter. I'm going to just center it there and then kind of just add different flowers and plants surrounding it. So I kind of want this to look really full and nice and just a variety of flowers and plants. I have some geraniums. I do need to clear off the top layer of soil here and then add some new soil to kind of just liven this up and give those plants the nutrients that they need. This is a wooden planter that I just picked up from Goodwill. There you can see the tag on there. It was $4.99. There was also some writing on it that says leaking bucket. Obviously I'm just going to have to turn that around, no big deal. And I actually love the fact that it leaks because I hate when pots or planters don't have like a leakage system to, you know, obviously drain out excess water. So this has it. Perfect. It's great for planting, and I think what I'm going to do is just plant everything that I have left over into here. So this is going to be made up of a variety of flowers and plants. Hopefully they will all live together cohesively and nicely. And I do have the tag for this one. This is called a diploidenia. Probably saying it wrong. I've had it sitting in here for a while, so kind of already have an idea of how it's gonna look. But before I plant it, I'm going to stick this black trash bag and kind of line the base of it with the bag, just so that the dirt stays in, the water kind of stays in. So I'm going to line it with the bag, then I'm going to fill it with soil, and then I will plant. So that about does it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys were able to take some of my tips and kind of apply it to your gardening for this year, next year, all the years to come. I so enjoy gardening, but I know that there's still so much that I need to learn and that I want to experience with different types of flowers and just expand what I already know. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope to have plenty more gardening videos for you guys, both dealing with plants and flowers and vegetables this year. There's so much trial and error when it comes to gardening and just kind of learning as you go, trying to figure things out, what works and what doesn't. So if I'm able to pass a little bit of my knowledge and my experience onto you guys, to me, that is a win. That is what I'm hoping for with all of these gardening related videos. As always, I hope that you guys join me for my next video, and until then, take care. Bye!